Okay, so again, he's not really doing much. Right, so f3. So again, now in this position, your whole goal should be to get your king towards the center. So obviously king e2 is illegal, but king e1 makes a lot of sense, right? Because now you're just going to play king d2 next move and actually trap his knight, right? So you're threatening to trap his knight.
He actually did trap his own knight.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I saw that when Acer was analyzing it. But I'm saying, like, this should make sense to you, right? Because now, okay, if he goes here, now you just go here, and again, you're making progress. And again, if he goes here, now again, his knight's trapped. So if he goes here, now you just win his knight. So, yeah, you have to really try to get your king to the center, and f3 doesn't really do anything to accomplish that. So f3, right, and now he trapped his own knight. Right, so now you can win his knight, actually, with knight e2. Which you didn't realize, did you? Yeah, you played king e2. So, okay, he's attacking the pawn. So, I mean, first of all, you should just realize, okay, I have to defend the pawn. But second of all, you should realize, okay, now this knight can't go here. It can't go, whoops, not there. But it can't go to c1, it can't go to c3. And now you just can do this, and he actually can't stop it. So you actually just win his knight. But okay, but I mean, at least you should have realized that your pawn was hanging. Yeah. Unfortunately. Okay. So I still don't know how you won this, but okay. So you played knight b5. Okay. So you went to this endgame. Right. Oh yeah, I remember this now. Okay. So yeah. So this endgame is probably a draw, I think. So take. So you win this d5 pawn, and you have excellent king position. So you play king d7. Right. So now it's a tempo game. So you want to always, when you have this type of position where it's a tempo game, so basically, if you can force his king to move, you win, right? Because of the opposition, right? So if you force him to play king e7, you can just do this, and queen this pawn. And if you force him to play king c7, you can just go this, and win his pawns before he can take your pawns. Yep. So no matter what, if you can force his king to move, you win. So the question is just being able to play more tempi than his opponent. So, or playing more tempi than your opponent. So the move you made was actually the worst move, because after this, now you just locked all your pawns up and you gave him the extra move. So probably best here is, I think he can outmaneuver you no matter what, but probably just f4 here. So f4.
Yeah. G4 I didn't think was good, but
yeah. It turned out not to be. Okay, so f5, yes, g3, h6, h4, h5, I guess. And then this is just a draw, because, okay, king e5, king e7, king d5, king d7, draw. Yep. And then if he tries... What else can he try? Okay, so let's go back to this position. So you play g4, okay, so yeah, if you play, say, g3, g5, f4, take. Okay, he can't play f5. He can't play f5. But he can play... Maybe this is a win, actually. Because, okay, on h5 you play h4. And this is a win now, I think. Well, actually, let's count. So here, so let's count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you're going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that wins. Okay, so yeah, I think this just wins. Because he plays h6, you play h4, h5, f5, and this wins. Because now you get either here or here. And he can't play f5 himself because you have king e5.
Mm-hmm.
So this is probably the best chance, I guess. Although, yeah, I mean, basically you want to just give yourself as many pawn options as possible. Yeah. But yeah, g4 basically gave him the necessary thing to draw. So g4, g5, and now this is just a draw because king e6, and now he can just shadow your king. So king e6, right? F4. So here he took h6, right? h4. Hold on a second, let me see this. So, okay, on f4 he should probably play... So f4... Oh yeah, on f4 he can just play h6, and then if takes... Or sorry, and then if f5 he just goes here. And this is a draw, because he just oscillates between these two squares, and your king can't get in. Because as long as he's controlling this square, your king can't get in. So yeah, this is just an easy draw. Okay, yeah. So yeah, he should play h6 here. Because now if take, just take, and again, he just shadows your king, and it's a draw. So yeah, that's what he should play. But okay, so take. This actually gives you more of a chance now, because now you can get this square by force.
Yeah.
Because now you have the tempo. So yeah, h6, h4, right. So king f5, okay, but I think this is still a draw. It's tough. Okay, so king g6, right. Okay, h5, king f7. Okay, so this is
Yeah.
a draw.
H5 won it.
No, h5 is still a draw. He messed up later is the problem, because I'll show you where he messed up, but h5 is still a draw. No, I think if you want to try to win, I think you try. I don't know. Cause let's see. If this, then if you go here. Okay, so this position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, but do you queen and stop his queen? Okay, we have to play this out. I'm not sure. Okay, this is tricky, but yeah, I mean, you would have to calculate all this, but I think this actually wins, because I think you control the queening square, right? It's like a Bobby Fischer thing, searching for Bobby Fischer thing. Yeah, it is. See? So you control the queening square. So actually that would have won. But, uh, but yeah, so king e6 I think wins. Because, I mean, there's nothing else you can try there, is there? So king d6. Okay, is there something else you can try here? Because if h5, you take and then you play this. And I think this wins, because take, and then you just win these pawns. So I think that wins, but I think king e6 is your only chance. Let me just check it quickly with the computer just to make sure. But I have a feeling this wins, but let me just double check it. Just so I'm not telling you something wrong.
Hmm.
Okay, so king g6, king d6, and it's saying, yeah, okay, it is a win. Yeah, I was right. Okay. So yeah, that is your win. So you have to play king e6 there. So he made a mistake by taking and giving himself this weakness and letting you come to f5. But you made a mistake by playing h5, because this is actually a draw now. Because now king e6, now again he follows your king. Okay, so king f4. So now is where he made the mistake. So now he played king f7. Okay, but if he plays king e7, it's a draw. Because now king f5, king f7, draw. But he played king f7. So you actually did something that's called triangulation. So what
Yeah.
you did is you basically drew a little triangle with your king, and you forced him to make a mistake. But it's still a draw here, because if he plays king e7, now he has like distant opposition in a way. Because now he can take the opposition when you play king f7. But you triangulated him and you flummoxed him. So king f4, he should play king e7, and then on king e. So then no matter where you move your king, he's going to mirror you. So king e4, you play king e6. King f5, you play king f7.
Yeah.
So it should have been a draw, but you flummoxed him. He played king f7, and now it's over, because now you have the opposition, and now he has no more tempi. So king g7, king e6, and now he loses his pawn by force, and that's it. So he resigned. So I mean, you didn't play that well, but you took advantage of his mistakes. So, I mean, that's definitely something to be proud of. I mean, because you noticed the fact that he gave up that isolated pawn, but you didn't really attack it, which was kind of weird. Like, you saw he gave you an isolated pawn, and you just kind of did stuff around it. Like, you were trying to maneuver your knight too much, when you should have just been trying to attack his pawn. And then that knight ending, you should have just realized his knight was actually getting tricky.
Yeah.
And, kind of squelched it. Because your king was better than his king, because it was more centralized, but yeah, so that was actually a really interesting endgame that turned out to be that. That pawn ending was actually one of the more interesting pawn endings because of all the tempo, and that Bobby Fischer thing at the end with a8 equals queen stopping his queen was actually kind of cute. So it turned out to be nice. Okay, so do you want to look at the other one, or do you want to go into what we were talking about last time?
No, let's just go on to what we were talking about.
Okay, so last time, for those of you guys who weren't here, we were talking about major piece endings, specifically rooks, and how to handle them properly. So this last example I just want to show you is basically how to do it from the beginning. So we're gonna look how the game progresses from the opening through to a major piece ending,
Okay.
and see how people are thinking, how both players are thinking about it the whole way. So okay, so observe me again, because I created a new game board. So just type observe chess kid.
Okay, I'm there.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the middle part kind of quickly because the end game is really the interesting part. But
Okay.
so this was a queen's gambit. Knight f3, knight f6, knight c3, c5. So this is a set my Tarash. Bishop g5, cd4, knight d4, dc4. Okay, so e3, queen d6. And now, bishop takes knight, pawn takes, and bishop takes pawn. Okay, so now, just a couple of middle game things we can talk about before we get to the end game. So, do you think this move is a good move or a bad move for black?
I think it's bad.
Okay, and why specifically would it be a bad move? What move would be the best way to punish it? So there's actually a couple of good answers here. There's actually a couple of good answers. But, I mean, first of all, just notice, for everyone, but especially you, notice how many pieces white has developed and how many pieces black has developed.
None.
Right? So, I mean, this move can't be good. But the question is, what's the best way to refute? So I'll give you a couple of seconds to think. What do you think is the best way?
My first initial thought is knight a4. That's
Knight a4. Okay,
first
but be
thing I see.
careful. Be careful. Knight a4, we have a fork.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so you don't want to be exposing yourself like that. So what else do you think might work?
Well, if you play bishop back, would that be decent?
Well,
bishop 3?
Don't forget what's hanging.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so you have to be careful. So what do you think would be the best response?
I'm not real sure.
Okay, well, what's weak in black's camp? I mean, besides everything, but like, what squares might jump out to us?
Well, I see c7 and f6.
Yeah, very good. C7 is a good one. So, is there a way we can maybe get to get to C7?
Yeah, you just play knight b5.
Okay, but there's two knights. So which knight?
The one on d4.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Knight db5, yeah. So, we're threatening this, right?
Yep.
And how exactly does black stop it?
I don't really think you can.
Okay, well, let's say he plays here.
Yeah,
Now what does white do? Look at how many squares the queen has.
Oh, you just play rook b1.
And where can the queen go?
Nowhere.
Exactly. So it's covered this way, it's covered this way, it's covered this way. It's completely trapped. Right, so knight b5 is the simplest way. But also, let me just quickly point out, this works. Castling. So what happens if this? So let's see if you see this tactically. So how does white win here? Just as an aside. So how can we gain more tempo on the queen?
Well, rook c1.
Okay, so rook c1, so the queen moves. Say queen a3. Okay, and now how do we win?
Could you play knight b5?
Knight b5 is good, but look at this and look at this. Is there a way to exploit that?
Huh. Oh, yeah, bishop check.
Yeah, very good. Okay, and now what happens if block?
You just check.
With?
The rook.
Very good. And if king here? Then what?
Huh.
I mean, you're winning. It's just a question of just putting the nail in the coffin, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, what's the move here? It's actually very pretty.
It's not bishop takes, is it?
Nope.
Huh?
Well, we wanna look at like this, and look at this, and look at this, and look at this. How exactly?
Well, you really can't. You can't check the king, can you?
I mean,